So a bit about my journey as a cybersecurity professional. By academic qualification, I do have a degree in institutional management and a diploma in information communication technology. Both got and graduated in 2012. I also do have a professional certification in CTIA, that is a Certified Threat Intelligence Analyst. A bit about my career journey. Since my graduation in 2012, I have specialized in consultative selling of technology solutions. When we started, we used to call it relationship selling. I don't know whether that is still a term. And what that entails is basically helping organizations to optimize their business processes using technology. And I think one of the highlights of my career journey to date was sales training with the Oracle Sales Academy. That was in 2016. So it's an interesting story how I got into cybersecurity. I think my interest was sparked in 2017. I think most people will remember the WannaCry ransomware attack. It was global, it was massive. It affected about 99 countries globally. And Kaspersky estimated the financial loss from the WannaCry ransomware attack at about $4 billion. And for me, it not only what came out for me or stood out for me is that it did not just affect businesses and corporations. It did also compromise national health services and as well as critical infrastructure. And I think that was the point where I sort of developed an interest in cybersecurity. In terms of my aspirations, I think that's a very good question. I do intend to continue creating or helping organizations to, understand the threat landscape as well as adopt solutions that are a good fit for the organizations. But much closer to my heart, I think it would be an honor to use my cybersecurity expertise in, for social impact. Cyber insecurity and cyber threats have, adversely affected our society. You can see there has been exponential growth in organized crime as well as online exploitation of vulnerable groups. We've seen things about, aspects about, the growth of human trafficking that has been propagated by technology and, the threat that technology space can create. One of the challenges for threat intelligence professionals, I think, is the ever-changing, the dynamic threat landscape. It changes over time and across industry. So there's, for me, three reasons to this. One is because cyber criminals are sophisticated and they're becoming more sophisticated. They are sophisticated with time. They're operating in highly networked and synchronized supply chains. Secondly, the attack surface is growing. There is cloud technologies, there is Internet of Things, there is more smart technology coming into this space. So the attack surface is continually expanding and growing. And thirdly, I think it's the incidences happening around the world that provide, sort of a breeding ground for, for cyber criminal activities. But what I mean by this is, there would be incidences like remote working, COVID, as we've previously seen. We do have things like elections or political situations, national disasters. So these are incidences that provide a surface or an opportunity for cyber criminals to execute their activities. CTIA and my career progression, a bit of an analogy. If I was to buy a BMW X Series vehicle, I would probably take more keenly the advice of a BMW user as opposed to a typical car salesperson. Why is it? Why is this rather? This is because the BMW user has working knowledge of a BMW X7 vehicle, the strengths, the weaknesses, the challenges that come with it, and this is the same. When I decided to specialize in a certain area of technology, and I chose cybersecurity, I decided that I'm going to get full working knowledge and expertise in this area, and this essentially was to enable me to have conversations and C-level conversations, and a full understanding of what I was talking about, whether it's the threat actors and their motives, the different risks to the organization, financial, regulatory, the different dynamics of it, how to assess security posture, the organization of vulnerabilities, the threat landscape, by industry or across industry, the different intelligence, actionable intelligence that is needed in every level of the organization. Understanding that is very critical. The different threat intelligence tools, how to build a threat intelligence program, the costs of it, the skill sets, the time that is required for this. So all these aspects have been very critical, in learning all these aspects actually has been very critical in, moving to the next step of my career in consultative selling. So what has been my experience preparing and learning CTIA? So I'll be very honest. At the beginning, I had a bit of concern about, how comprehensive the course is going to be, because I think most of us have experience with online courses where once you've subscribed and you've started, you realize, they fall short of what you expected. So with the CTIA program, I was pleasantly surprised. So it took me about 5 months to complete the course and sit the exam. And what I can say is that the content is quite extensive, so it does prompt one to research much more, research further. And what this essentially means is that you need to dedicate ample time and resources to cover all aspects of the CTIA course. And ultimately at the end of the course, what you have modeled in your mind is a cyber threat mindset or awareness. I can say you become I think this is my own word, but you become cyber alert, which I believe is the ultimate goal of pursuing the CTIA program. So on the 3 things that I liked about the CTIA program, this is a simple one. So first of all, I enjoyed the structured learning approach. So this combines 3 different aspects. One, there is a great, expert instructor. Secondly, there is, detailed course notes, reference links and books, and finally there's the virtual labs, which gives or provides hands-on experience with the different threat intelligence tools. Secondly, number 2 of the things that I liked about the course is that there's the mode of learning. So there's multiple training options that are provided. So there would be the self-paced, there would be the live online training, there would be the private team training. So there's multiple options to look at, and this is essentially very ideal for working professionals. And lastly, the structure of the exam. So this the examinations will test on comprehension of material and also the applied understanding of the content in practical scenarios. So those are the 3 things that really stood out for me within the course. Cybersecurity is right now board level C-level discussion. And one of the most critical aspects of our line of work is the ability to articulate comprehensively to decision makers the value of cybersecurity, threat intelligence, and threat intelligence programs. Rather to build a business case to justify significant investment in any of these cybersecurity areas. So basically what the CTIA program helps you, understand is the costs of, any cybersecurity investment versus the benefits of it. So, the cost in terms of the budgets, the human resource required, the tools, as well as the time spent on these programs. In terms of the benefits, CTI helps you understand the benefits in terms of the risks averted, whether it's the risk of financial loss, the risk of legal liability, as well as regulatory liability. To understand the significance of CTIA in career progression for cybersecurity professionals, CTIA involves collecting of data from multiple data sources and feeds, analyzing it, enriching it, and the output is usually strategic threat intel, tactical or operational threat intel. How CTIA can help in two ways. One, you can rise in level since now you have the expertise and the knowledge, to create threat intelligence required by different levels of the organization. And secondly, CTIA expands the opportunities available for you in different organizations. We are talking maybe larger corporations with more advanced threat intelligence programs. There's the government intelligence agencies. For example, there's ENISA, the FBI, and its equivalent in different countries. We have, Interpol Cybercrime Unit. We have CISA and SAT in the different countries as well. And lastly, we have the private intel providers. These are the different organizations that provide intel to private companies. For example, what comes to my mind is Kaspersky, FireEye, and others in the market. Finally, on the advice that I can share with anyone preparing to sit the CTIA exam, firstly, this is a great choice of program to pursue. And secondly, and I think what worked for me is very simple, that, study all the material that has been provided for you, whether it's the labs, all the course notes, and my emphasis would be on the course notes that have been provided. And good luck with your CTIA exam. Thank you.